Hi, I'm Ferris, your new favorite artist. This year I attended one of the smallest conventions in Germany for the 6th time in a row, and I have a few things to say about my experience this year. Stay tuned to the end to get info on how much I made at this small event and if it was worth it. Let's start with a few preparations I did before the event. I had a few new product ideas which I wanted to bring to this con, including photo cards and new sticker designs. The photo cards are handmade by me with a lot of care for details. I did completely new Cookie Run Kingdom designs this time, and I really love how they turned out. Anyways, I also created a lot of Wings Club stickers. I made Enchantix chibi versions, which kind of look like Cookie Run style chibis, as well as normal Season 1 designs in my pixel art style. Making them was super fun and I miss drawing Wings Club fan art. I also brought my older Cookie Run chibi stickers, which I created last year. I designed JVIC stickers, which are so cute to be honest, and brought my older Baldur's Gate designs as well. I still love how these look and I would eat them if I could. Then I also drew some D&D designs that have been sitting in my folders for some time, but I finally managed to print them. Here we come to my new photo card designs of Pure Vanilla and Shadow Milk, which are a pair indicated by their matching heart designs. Eternal Sugar, Affogato My Love, Dark Choco, Elder Fairy, and Strawberry Crab. Of course I had to bring one of my bestsellers, my 80s photo cards. They are a bit older by now, but are nevertheless always popular. I also brought them to the 80s concert in Cologne this year and got so many compliments for them. Finally, I designed Jin Mao stickers, as I'm currently obsessed with Apothecary Diaries and Jinchi is my wife. Let me show you my huge pile of free stickers as well that I always produce when I print my stickers at home. They accumulate due to me wanting to maximize space on my sticker paper wherever possible, so I squeeze in tiny versions of my designs to give away with orders or at conventions in the form of a freebie goodie bag. I do use recycled materials for them. For example, I use leftovers from sticker making, like strips I cut off of used sticker paper or the backing of lamination foil, etc. On Friday before the con, I quickly grabbed food, drinks and snacks after uni so I would minimize personal spendings at the con. Here's some footage of day 1. This is what I will be wearing for the convention, and I also did my makeup. I'm going to show you in a second. Yeah, it's just a very basic fantasy outfit. Here's what my makeup looked like. I tried to stay on brand and nail a very magical elf look. Then my sister, her fiance, and I headed off to the convention, and they both helped me to set up my table. Here's what my table looked like and what my final setup looked like as well. Let me give you a full tour of what I brought and how I decorated my table. I did make some changes on day 2 though. The table I always get is unusually long for an Artist Alley Sternard table. On the right hand side I placed a folder of older prints, some top loaders for inspiration, my Death Note sticker books, my photo card gacha machine and a few business cards. I put up my newest sign at the top of my setup and filled the middle with my sticker book designs, sticker sheets and photo card stand, which also holds a few stickers and my washi tapes. I also created a few backdrops which held my prints and keychains in my brand's color scheme. The left hand of my table was then filled with memo pads and my sticker rack. I made sure to have signs for my prices and my PayPal QR code as alternative payment method. Overall, I wasn't 100% satisfied with my setup, but it kind of worked, even though there were a few visual holes. I had a lot of leftover product to work with and only a few new products. Very last minute, I also brought this funny jar of Silas in jail. It was basically my tip jar where people could pay for his bill. I don't know where I got this idea from exactly, but it worked. If you ever wondered, this is what the back of my setup looked like. Here I am proudly showing off my badge. Say hi to the infamous WieMaiKai, who makes sure to visit my table every year. Now you're in my vlog this time. Let me show you what the Artist Alley looks like. Sadly, I did not film much of the other amazing things you can do at the con, but I think it's a great way to show you how small this event is. I did manage to film the retro games room and a bit of the outside area that cosplayers and attendees without tickets like to stay at. There is also an amazing lineup of Itasha cars that are displayed every year and definitely contribute to the identity of the con. Here's what busy traffic looks like, by the way. It's really manageable and not too overwhelming. You really have time to get into conversations with everyone, or with the people behind your booth. After struggling to finally get into a train home after Saturday, Sunday was already starting. On to day 2. As I already mentioned, I decided to slightly overhaul my setup. I placed the Death Note sticker books to the left and grouped my 2 smaller racks together as well. My taller displays were now grouped in the middle. Here's a closer look at my products if you're interested. All my products are also available on my shop. Check out my links in the description. Here's some footage of me struggling to put on my newly acquired elf ears. I'm so happy I bought them. They were on my wish list for a while now. After a very calm Sunday, we quickly made our way home by car. Thank you, boyfriend, for driving. I know there isn't a lot of actual convention footage, but I still have a few things I want to talk about. So here are my thoughts on WieMaiKai this year. Let's start off with what I usually appreciate about this convention. First, I really like that the organizers have not expanded the overall convention yet. It has always been a small con where social interaction and supporting the community was the focal point. Second, the organization is very good. I never had any issues and the communication has worked well for me for years. This is obviously my own experience. Third, the people are super polite usually. It feels like a time capsule of what conventions looked like 10 years ago, and that makes it super special. Now here are things that I have noticed this year that I don't really appreciate. First of all, the table expenses have risen enormously in comparison to prior years. Second of all, the attendance is not increasing. Marketing is not aggressive enough, at least from what I can see on social media, for example on YouTube as well. Finally, there are more and more businesses in the Artist Alley that do not primarily sell art, but rather quote-unquote products. To be clear, I highly value the rule that AI is not allowed to be sold at the convention anywhere. But I am sad to see that there are less and less artists like me who actually produce items that you would usually see in the Artist Alley. What I mean by that exactly is, for example, OC content, fan art, and print products, which does not only include paper products. By OC content, I mean I was very sad to see that there weren't a lot of original characters or original content. Obviously, I also sell a lot of fan art, which is totally fine and has been a thing for decades. But there were a lot of very huge fandoms instead of smaller fandoms where you could really see that the artist is passionate about them. In general, the Artist Alley looked more like an accumulation of Etsy sellers than in the previous years. This is not a bad thing, but I feel like it's kind of odd to mix all types of vendors together without cohesion. I cannot really put a finger on what puts me off exactly, but it was definitely odd to see how the overall saturation of artists has decreased. For me, it kind of feels displaced to have all of these kinds of different vendors placed in the same hall. We do have a distinction between bigger vendors who sell merchandise and the artist alley. So I think there should be a space where these businesses could be put into, instead of putting them in the artist alley and competing with artists who are in a sense different to what Etsy sellers who make, for example, candles or wooden products or 3D printed products. To be fair, it is a different kind of production line to create those products in comparison to printed artwork or products based on digital or traditional media you draw yourself. I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to diminish the work that goes into other types of businesses, because I've been there as well. I would suggest that we create places where the two categories can exist together, but maybe are separated by space. So it's not a jumble of different kind of businesses who do have different goals and customers. On another note, I have witnessed with my own eyes that an artist that I have allegedly discovered to trace AI or other people's artwork attend the event. I'm not gonna do any name dropping here, I'm not a drama channel. However, in my very humble personal opinion, you could tell they did it for the money and not because they were passionate about the fandoms they sold artworks of. I observed their conversations with attendees and it felt very superficial. I do not shame anyone that sells artwork of popular media like Casman Hotel, Pokemon or Jujutsu Kaisen, which is not wrong, of course, and it's not very suspicious in of itself, but if you have nothing else to offer, then I get suspicious about your agenda. I do not mean to offend anyone with my opinion, and my opinion could certainly be ignored as I do not know these people personally or their motivations. But I think it's important to discuss what type of business practices could be hurtful to the community. Now we get to the fun part where I tell you how much I made, roughly. I paid around 100 euros for my table fees, which sadly have increased. I spent around 100 euros on materials and food, excluding the new printer I had to buy because my 1-year-old Canon printer died on me 2 weeks before the con. I spent nothing on travel or housing as I pay for public transport via my university semester fee and had friends and family drive me from and to the convention. I made around 300 euros on Saturday and around 400 on Sunday, so 700 euros minus the 200 euros on spendings I had to make equals to 500 euros in profit. Here is my final conclusion on this event. I love this convention and I have some clear reasons why I have attended it as an artist for the past 6 years. For me, it's a no-brainer to go there every year. I appreciate the community, the way the event is organized, and in general, I have a deep connection to this event as I have attended it since 2014 as a regular attendee. However, I have observed some concerning developments in the past years, and I am interested in how this will play out in the future. But I have to admit, I made the most money I ever made at that convention this year. I am extremely interested in what your opinions are, and leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree on anything that I just talked about. I will plug myself one more time. Please check out the links in my description. I recently had to leave Etsy as a platform, and I am currently trying to get back my usual customer base. I'm very dependent on it, so please have a look down below. Thank you very much in advance, and I hope you have a very great rest of your day. See you in my next video.